Welcome back to another Pokemon Sleeper Sunday, where once a month we go through a ton of raw cards, graded cards, and sealed products that I think are being slept on, and we are going to do a little giveaway today. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, you got to hit that like, and then I want you to answer the question of the day. So for today's question, which Pokemon is better, Greninja or Lucario? So comment your answer below to be entered into that giveaway, and please let me know why. And these are the cards we're giving away. We got a Japanese Tyranitar Art Rare, very nice special illustration for a trainer. We got a trainer from 151, and we got Turtwig from Crown Zenith. And I do have to announce the winner from last Sunday's giveaway, and it is at Charles Thompson 6494. So shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram. I'll get those cards sent out to you. I have a big pile of giveaways that are finally getting shipped out. My post office is pretty far away from my house. And we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Platinum Protectors. If you guys need cases for any type of collectible, Platinum Protectors has got you covered. They have cases for action figures, comic books, die-cast, Funko Pops, trading cards, and video games. When it comes to trading cards, they have so many different options. Lorcana, One Piece, Japanese Pokemon, all the different UPCs. They got the really nice acrylic ones. Otherwise, they got these really nice cheap ones, which these are my favorite. I mean, right here, the booster box cases. You can get a 20-pack for $41.98. They're UV resistant, they're scratch resistant, and they work great for all these modern products. Then also, if you click my link in the description, you'll get 10% off your first order of $50 or more. So definitely check them out. And then also, if you want to grade through PSA for your very first time and you want to get a free graded card, you can click my link in the description and use the code BEARD25 and you'll get $25 off. All right, let's jump into it. We got some illustration rares, and as you guys know, a ton of cards are coming down in price. So any card that I do put on here and it's still going down, don't just immediately go buy it. Just keep watching it and, enjoy the ride down. And once you see it level out, then it's probably a safe time to buy. But this Ethan's Typhlosion did get up to $40, and this is the cheapest it's ever been at $29. We got a ton of sales ranging from $27 to $32, but that's a beautiful card, and I feel like most people like Typhlosion. Next, we have that new Haunter illustration rare promo. So it's actually bouncing back a little bit. It got down to about 22, and now it's at 24. Still have a couple sales at like 20, but I have a feeling this is going to be kind of a cool, unique card. I feel like Haunter doesn't get a ton of love. But again, this really depends on how much of that product there really is out there. I just haven't seen much of it yet. Next, we have the Marshadow. Yes, the most hyped up illustration rare for a good month or two. This thing got up to $77. It started off at $37. And now, last sold $19, $19, $19. So the cheapest it has ever been. You got to think, this had a ton of sales. There's 97 sales at $53. 139 sales at $75, and now you can get the card for around 19 bucks. I feel like it's not too bad. It might drop to like 15, but I feel like there is also a chance this card does get hyped back up to like 25, 30, $35, just because, so many people know about this card now. Next, we have the Bulbasaur box topper from the Mega Evolution ETB. This was at $48. Now last sold 19. Someone got 21 of them at 19. Got a couple sales at 17. Again, just enjoy that ride down and keep watching it. It could become a $15 card, a $13 card, but you got to pay close attention to it because in the matter of a week or two, it could shoot back up. Now, this card really depends on what happens with the Mega Evolution booster box and how easy that is going to be to get and stuff in the future, how many reprints it gets. But I am going all in on these box toppers, especially since we're not getting them in every single set. Same thing with the Enzresh Reshiram box topper. I already have a ton of those. Next, we have the Milotic EX. So the high for this card was $156 on release, got down to about $89, back up to $115. Now last sold $103.99, $99. I just think this is one of the safer pickups in the market right now, to where if it does go down in price, it'll probably be an $85 card or something like that. But it's such a beautiful card. No one really has complaints about the art at all. It even connects with an illustration rare. There's no weird crown that half the people hate. To me, it's a perfect special illustration rare, and in my opinion, it's the best Milotic we've ever gotten in Pokemon history, which I feel like is important. Same thing with the Salamence EX. This card to me is perfect. It's not super crazy, but it's just clean, it's simple, and it's the best card in Journey Together in my opinion, and I feel like Salamence, it's a pretty popular Pokemon, and I also think this is the best card we've ever gotten for him. Got up to $80, and now last sold $74, $70, $71, $75, bouncing back a little bit, like $1 or $2. But next, break cards. Yes, I know these are break cards, not the most popular, but they are so cheap. And honestly, it's pretty fun to collect. There's like 33 of them or something with promos. And most of them are a few dollars each. They look really nice in a binder. You know, when the market is crazy like this is the best stuff you can do. You know, this is an actually doable collection. Very cool Pokemon in here too. Lugia is the most expensive, market price, $21. You can find it for like 10, 11 bucks still. And then the Greninja, Raichu, Yveltal, you know, Xerneas, Machamp. Some pretty cool Pokemon. And again, so cheap. Next, we have the Umbreon Gold Star from Celebrations. Got up to $111. Now last sold 80, 78, 79. You know, this might be one of the last times to pick this card up before it shoots up again before the 30th. And same thing with the Shiny Magikarp. Got up to 47. Now last sold 29, 32, 31. But again, just keep watching them. They might go down a little bit more. Same thing with the Blastoise. You know, got up to about 17. Now back down to 11, 9. You know, everything's coming down. So next, we have the Japanese Hoopa promo. We bought a bunch of these when the PSA 10s were like, you know, under $100. Now the PSA 10s are very expensive. But raw, this card is still very affordable and it is so cool. I mean, look at the card actually. We got a Mega Rayquaza in there, Pikachu, Lugia. It is just stacked. Last sold on eBay, 52, 28, 49, 33, 71, 201 right here. Looks like it's sealed. Another one here in auction for $57. Next, the Spirit Link cards. We talked about these in my last What If Wednesday, and we're in the Mega era now. If you guys do not know about the Spirit Link cards, every one has a Mega Pokemon on here. The reverse holos do get kind of expensive, to be honest, but again, a super fun little set to collect, you know, kind of like a mini set, and very popular Pokemon. Garchomp, Salamence, and again, these are all the Megas, Aerodactyl. We got Rayquaza, Kyogre, Gyarados, Mewtwo, Lucario. It's just crazy. So again, this will look really nice in a binder and something different and unique. Next, the Japanese band cards. We also talked about these in my last What If Wednesday. There's a handful of these Japanese band cards, and most of them are pretty affordable. You know, we got the Misty's Tears right here, where she's basically naked for 32. Sabrina's Gaze, where it looks like she's flicking you off for 11. Then we got Moo Moo's Milk, where, you know, sucking on the udder right there. Kind of a crazy card. We got the Really Creeper Grimer card. That's the only one that's just like super, super weird. And even like the slot machine here, that's a banned card. And the only card that's like actually truly expensive is the Sabrina's Gengar, where they have tombstones in the background and our English version does not. But again, a fun little collection, and there isn't that many of them. Next, we have some of the XY secret rares. Now, I was telling everybody to buy these a year ago when they were all like $10, $20, $30. And this Volcanion here was $11 a year ago. But it's still so affordable. Last sold 35, 32, 36. Beautiful card. I promise if you get this card in person, out of a sleeve, you'll be stunned by its beauty. And I know Volcanion is not super popular, but Xerneas is pretty popular. And the border's crazy, texture's crazy. It's so cool. And I know it's from Steam Siege, one of the worst sets, which is very debatable. But Steam Siege is very expensive, and these cards are not easy to pull. Same with the Gardevoir from this set a year ago. It was $32. Now last sold 88, 89, 90. I just feel like that's still somewhat reasonable. I mean, that's like a mid-tier special illustration rare, or even a lower end alternate art for something that's pretty old and very unique. And same thing with the Alakazam. This has Umbreon and Lugia in it. Like, that's one of the nastiest trios. This was $41 a year ago. Got up to 110, back down to 92. Now at 132, kind of leveling out. All last sold right around there. One low sale at 105. But if you go look at the Gyarados, I mean, that's a $200-something card, you know, just like this. Even some of the Mewtwo's are getting up there. One of the other ones from Breakthrough is at like 210 now. So I just feel like there's room for this card to grow, especially having Umbreon and Lugia, two of the most popular Pokemon in all of Pokemon history. I just feel like this card is so slept on. Next, getting to some sealed products. I've seen some pretty good deals for some Twilight Masquerade ETBs and Surging Sparks ETBs on like Facebook Marketplace, where it got pretty close to MSRP, which is very nice. Last sold on TCG Player, 62, 66, 67. We do have one crazy sale at 99, but I mean, $62, that's getting very close to MSRP. And like I said, on Facebook Marketplace, you know, you can definitely find them for a decent deal when people start panicking and they just want some money. Surging Sparks a little more expensive, 72, 74, 68. But I've seen them very close to where if you buy, you know, a few boxes, they were in the 50s. Next, Chilling Rain ETB. So last sold for this one, 93, 100, 95. I just feel like the Sword and Shield ETBs are somewhat of a safe pickup. They might drop $5 or $10, if the market really cools off a little bit, but I don't think they're going to crash. And we even got a Silver Tempest ETB, around the same price. Last sold 80, 87, 80, 95, 98. Next, we have the Evolving Skies ETB. It's got the 397. Now most of the sales are right around 370 to 390. We have a couple low sales at 350, and we can get it shipped right now for about 380. But I love Evolving Skies. I will always pick this up. I think I'm going to pick up a couple more here soon. My buddy has a couple minty ones. He has a ton of them, but he's willing to let go of a few of them, so I might grab them. Even though I have a good amount of Evolving Skies, whenever it's a minty one and I know they're minty because I've seen them in person, I'm just going to grab them. And Crown Zenith is coming down in price right now too. What was that, $225? Now last sold 184, 193, 185. This is definitely a good ETB to watch because if this gets down to like 150 or something like that, I think that is a very solid pickup. Next, the Celebrations ETB. We have a couple weird sales here that I wanted to throw on here. We got 4 sales here at $44. Not real sales. It's going to make the graph look like it's crashing. But again, this would be an awesome ETB if it does get into the hundreds. Definitely a safe pickup before the 30th. Next, we have the Phantasmal Flames Pokemon Center ETB. We're on 130 points. So if you go look on eBay, all the listings are like 220, 230, 250 for this box. But, they're selling for 162, 150, 157, 165. I personally would buy this Pokemon Center ETB at 150, 160 bucks. I mean, that's cheaper than Black Bolt White Flare. That would be one of the cheapest Pokemon Center ETBs on the market. And I think it's one of the coolest looking ones too. So I'd pick this up at 150 bucks. The Pokemon Center ETBs are one of the few products that I am willing to buy over MSRP relatively early, just because we know how limited they are. We know how fast they go on the Pokemon Center website. Even if they get reprinted 10 more times, the chance of getting one is pretty slim. Next, we have a couple PSA 10 cards. We have the Eevee Black Star promo from Prismatic Evolutions. This is just a regular one. Got up to 159 in a 10. Now last sold 96, 98, 120. Now, I just feel like these are very solid pickups. Promos are usually a little bit tougher to grade, not super tough to grade for the ETB promos. I just feel like for under 100 bucks for this card in a PSA 10 is not terrible. And then we have the Pikachu Paldea Evolve promo. This is not the Pokemon Center one. This one got up to $220. Now last sold 162, 157. Coming down in price a little bit right now. Now, I think this card is pretty special. I love when they have this Pikachu card with the 3 starters like this. We do have a card just like this from the Sword and Shield era. Right here with all the Gen 8 starters. And this card is doing very good. It sells for almost $400 in a PSA 10. It's a little more scarce than the Paldea Evolved one. The pop's even a little bit higher for the Paldea Evolved one, obviously. But 2 very similar cards. And the one thing going for this is the Scarlet and Violet era is basically the most popular era in all of Pokemon history. Like the most people were in Pokemon at this time. And there's going to be a lot of people that started out in the Gen 9 era, especially kids, that love these starters, and it's pretty rare to get all 3 starters in one card like this. So I'm a big fan of this card also, especially if it gets close to like $100, like the Eevee in a PSA 10. Right now it's at 150-ish. I feel like that's a hair high, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on this card. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Sleeper Sunday. If you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. And we just got back from Columbus, Ohio vending. So I will put that video up very soon. So keep your eye out for that. But I want you guys have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Falling Friday, which was a crazy one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.